here I am checking out McMillions, episode 3. 3 more to go after that. Gym-wise, I haven't been for 4 days in a row. Well, 4 days, not in a row, because Sunday was a rest day. I think for the first 3 days that I didn't go, I was assessing in my head whether or not I would get infected. So gym has been put off for 3 days. 4th day being today, which is a Monday. So previous 3 days were abs, back and biceps, and a leg day. So now I've missed out another abs and shoulders day. So thinking about it, I guess it sucks that I won't be able to go to the gym anymore, but in the long run, it is protecting myself by self-isolating and not going to the gym, if that makes any sense. So in self-isolating, I'm hoping that I can fill the time with something positive. So I guess update on progress. With this book, I have Yep. 481 to 675, so 100. Yeah, 194 pages left out of a 600 plus page book. It's been a good read. It's really opened my mind up to just life of MJ, really. So there's that. Got like a ton of cybersecurity stuff. I figured as well, should I get a job interview offer, I'm going to ask if I can work from home. Probably won't be able to because they'll be needing to do training. So it's going to be a really odd couple of weeks, maybe even months, moving on. And then there's a lot of scaremongering on social media saying that this is going to last until spring of next year, which is just how can you even do the math on that, right? So what's surprising to me is SARS. I want to say that I read somewhere that it's more lethal than this. But either way, a virus is a virus, and with SARS, there wasn't much media coverage about it. It was still severe, people still died. So, And I've read the statistics as well, where I have more chance of winning the lottery than of dying of this particular thing. So, I mean, catching it and having it affect my body is two different things. And I guess the main annoyance is just not being able to go to the gym, because it set up my body for the rest of the day to have some physical activity before setting up on the day. So there's that. Though I have had a lot more done in terms of catching up on my videos, researching cybersecurity, researching monologues, that kind of thing. Yesterday was an interesting journey. Some people wearing masks, some people not wearing masks, some people wearing scarves over their faces. And what's sold out are hand sanitizers like Purell and toilet paper. Those are the things that are sold out. And what's beginning to be sold out is pasta, rice, and medical supplies like paracetamol, aspirin, painkillers. So it's been over a month now since I did any Japanese. It may even be coming up to 2 months. But back last month, it was for different reasons that I didn't go to the gym. And I thought, I could just block it out and kind of live in denial, and then kind of reality set in, and denial again, and then reality. So that was last month. This month is a bit more. It started off okay with the first week. But then kind of went away a bit. Just thinking about other people's hygiene, which is non-existent, which made me think about what it would be like. Yeah. And then I have a solution in my head, which is to go to the gym at a regular time where there's next to no one there, which would probably be between 2 and 4:30. But am I really that desperate to go to the gym between 2 and 4:30? Is it really going to affect my thinking, my process? Because in the back of my head, it's going to always be that I'm trying to avoid that area because there may be a possibility of catching this virus. So, again, even if I do catch it, I'm not in the at-risk age group in terms of it being critical. So, it's a very interesting period right now. And there's I think it's Indiegogo or GoFundMe or Kickstarter for this short film that is set to film in less than 2 weeks. which I haven't contributed to, but I just want to point out that the director and producer and everyone involved really should just cancel it, because one, the story matter is to do with a virus. See, I don't even need to give you the log line, right? It's just mentioning the word. Who is going to contribute to something that a short film, especially in this particular climate, about a virus, right? So as a filmmaker, you got to be intelligent and just either scrap the whole thing, put it on hiatus, or change the log line. I mean, because everyone's a bit more aware of the word virus these days. Why not just change your log line to treatment instead? Because from what I can see, you're not gonna film anything in a lab where, okay, so the log line at the moment is, let's just read it out for ease of okay, here we go. A PhD researcher discovers a virus that provokes racial violence. Will she be able to find a cure? Okay. Right, so this is pitched as an action thriller short film. So how about instead, right? Because in a short film, you're not going to know that it's provoking violence. You're not going to know that it's a virus. You're just going to know that it's a situation where a PhD researcher discovers something, and that's it. So if the dialogue pertains to this, alter the dialogue, right? So not seeing the script, I wouldn't know exactly what changes to be made. But in terms of logline, I would change to something like a PhD researcher discovers a cure for cancer, but the pharmaceutical industry would rather treat cancer than cure it. Will she be able to bring this to the press or something, right? Only because of the current climate. I know this sounds very arrogant, perhaps, of me to say this, but if Marvel can do it for their story, I think it's Cap and Falcon. They had a bio weapon subplot that's in reshoots or whatever now. Why can't this short film be sensible and just change it? You know, I mean, where is it? There was some mention about the whole thing. I think it was an FAQ. Let me just get to the FAQ. So coincidentally enough, the idea was already in development in October 2019. Then it goes on to say, any likeness to the current outbreak is purely coincidental. We most definitely did not expect an outbreak to occur since our development. Okay, our goal is to tell a story about a strong character who goes through a tough journey. That's one of the senses of why you should support this Indiegogo. Well, yes, story is key. Story is key. But in this situation, it's going to be a little bit difficult for anyone to support your cause, your your vision with the current climate. That's all I'm saying. So this has exactly 15 days left, so 2 weeks and a day, and it's at 2% of their goal. Okay, I'm not cussing them out. I'm just saying, as a filmmaker, you need to kind of appreciate that what's around you in the current climate, and if it's sensitive, you just cut it out, because your movie isn't going to do well. You want to make money, right? You don't want to just throw money away. You want to make connections, right? You don't want to just do it as a passion project, unless you do want to do it as a passion project. I just think it's just something that's been overlooked, and perhaps the filmmaker and producers and everyone else involved is kind of in denial phase about pulling the plug because it's only 2 weeks away until the deadline or something. So on a more positive note, with my idea for the comedy series, I guess I'm taking elements from my previous outing of Not Native, but I'm also taking influence from what I've seen. So my research for that has been to watch a TV series called The British Empire, which aired for 7 seasons, so 7 years. It's a British sitcom at a leisure centre, so I didn't get any ideas from that, but it was just useful to watch. Okay, I don't mean I didn't get any ideas. I got some ideas, and they may bleed into some kind of story that I write. But what I have at the moment are kind of just little sketches in the gym with Jim, I've called my antagonist, and Marcus, because I like Marcus for my protagonist. Not so much antagonist, just 2 characters that feed off each other, similar to another TV series called Bottom, where it's 2 characters living in squalor, complete squalor, and just living and just feeding off each other, and their stage shows are just both of them as well. So that's great. So idea for a 3rd character, I guess, will come later on. So 3rd character, I can borrow traits from Game On, as well as the IT crowd, in terms of a dynamic of 3 characters bouncing off each other. That's what I took to write Not Native, but I'm just calling it Gym for now, or Graveyard Gym, which sounds horrible, because they're doing the graveyard shift between 11 and 7. Yeah. That's where I am at the moment. So, I guess I'm gonna keep on doing my research, finish off McMillions, and just assess whether going to the gym is the most essential thing right now. Like, where is he? He was incapacitated for months, but he exercised his mind. So this might be a similar similar thought process. But again, not too much thinking, more doing. So yeah, all right.